Good morning, everyone. Dr. Val here. Welcome to Coffee Chats. I don't have any coffee today, and there's a reason why. And it's probably the opposite of what you think. Today is a really stressful day, just busy, busy, busy. It's the last day of school, a million things to do, and I'm leaving town for 10 days in 3 hours and counting. And my laundry list of things to do super long. So naturally, those are the days when you're like, oh my word, I just have to get through the day. And you go and grab coffee. And coffee is a stimulant. It does often pick you up and get you through the day. The reason why I'm not drinking coffee today, and there's a reason, is because I have found through monitoring my sugars and doing intermittent fasting and checking your sugar and seeing, does coffee actually, is it a stimulant for you? Because you can measure that by checking your sugars. If you haven't had anything to eat and you drink coffee, you don't know unless you check 30 minutes later. If your sugars go up at all, then coffee, the caffeine in coffee, is a stressor for you. Most people are able to handle that fine. However, something that I have found and I'm still dealing with, and uh, I wouldn't even say, well, I don't have symptoms of that anymore. But one thing I have found is that I have adrenal fatigue, and there's some reasons for that. And I'm working out, uh, doing the things that I need to do to recover from that. A lot of times that's related to heavy metals and toxins in the tissue, because I would say 3 years ago, I had absolute symptoms of adrenal fatigue. I was exhausted all the time. I wasn't even working. I would get home from, in the afternoon and I would take a nap. I couldn't function unless I took a nap. I would sit down after dinner and put my feet up on the couch. I would fall asleep every single night. My husband would wake me up at the end of the day and, he would scratch his head and go, "Why are you so tired?" And of course, my labs were normal. Um, and my thyroid was not exactly normal. It was normal by common lab standards. But I was just like, well, I'm probably just a little hypothyroid. And, you know, I just have to deal with it. Well, over the process of the last probably 18 months is when I started doing, um, I've been intermittent fasting really pretty regularly for the past 2 years. And then I started doing block water fasts. And after like the first two, I had marked improvement in my fatigue levels. I could just tell. And my body can handle the stress of fasting now without any problems. And my energy now, I'm like, I feel great. I'm not exhausted at the end of the day. I mean, it's a rare time when I am. I sleep through the night good. All these things. And I really attribute that to fasting. But I found out very recently that I clearly still have some issues with adrenal fatigue. And I really only discovered that in seeing what coffee did in the morning, because I drink coffee almost every day. But I don't guzzle it, and I only drink about 16 ounces in a thermos that I will sip on for several hours. I'll drink my bulletproof coffee that way, and I drink black coffee. Um, I've gotten used to black coffee now, or black coffee. On days when I'm really splurging, I'll put some flavored stevia drops in, um, just for the flavoring. And, I enjoy that, but I don't feel, I've switched to organic coffees. One of my favorite brands of coffee is Purity Coffee. Love their stuff. The science behind why they roast the way they roast is amazing. I had no idea all the stuff goes into coffee. Um, you should check them out. They have a lot of info and studies and stuff on their pages. But through doing that, I got rid of all the symptoms that I used to have attributed to coffee, like the jitteriness, the diarrhea, just upset kind of gut that I would get if I drank very much coffee. It made me feel horrible. So I really was never a big coffee drinker. Well, after switching to coffee that is actually, not contaminated with molds, it's not sprayed for pesticides, you're not getting all these other chemicals in it. I found that all those symptoms went away. So I've been drinking coffee pretty consistently every day. I enjoy tea too, but my coffee, I wouldn't say, I don't drink a ton, but what I do drink is quality. What I found, a few weeks ago, really, was that in actually testing my glucose half an hour after I had started drinking the coffee, that it raised my sugar consistently. Like I did this 4 or 5 times. I did it, you know, with bulletproof, all the fats in it. I did it black. I did it with stevia. I did different brands of coffee. And I tested, and pretty consistently, my sugar would bump up just a little, but it would go up. Um, and you don't know unless you test. Many people, it stays the same. Some people, it goes down. Some people, it's the fats in it that raise sugars. And that's something that I teach people kind of how to do when you're intermittent fasting and finding out, does coffee, affect your fasting if you're intermittent fasting? Well, what I found was, my sugars go up, which is a sign of adrenal fatigue. There's also some um, blood pressure markers and some other things, ways that you can check. Does your body respond the way it should, or is it sluggish? Adrenal fatigue, your adrenal glands, I'll get into all that later, but adrenal fatigue. So there is a reason why I'm not drinking coffee today, because yes, I'm stressed. I can feel it physically and mentally, just because I have a million things to do and I'm running on next to no sleep. But I don't want to add more stress to my body right now. So I'm drinking water this morning because I know I will probably crash faster. I will, my mind isn't going to be as sharp because I'm already putting stress, environmental stress that I can't do anything about right now. That's coming at me. But right now, in this circumstance, I don't want to add to that stress today. So I'm not drinking coffee. I'm going to drink some tea. I'm going to fill my thermos with tea and sip on that today. And, just out of habit, because I want something warm to sip on as I'm running around the house today and packing and meetings and everything else. So you really want to work with your body and not against it. Mentally, I have to get into a place of not letting my brain run chaotically, and however you get into that, whether it's practicing mindfulness techniques or meditation or prayer and quiet time, okay, take a breath, refocus, do one thing, then do the next, then do the next. If you don't reset your mind, that is a big stressor as well. So I have to control the things that I can control today and deal with the rest. So anyway, there are reasons why some people for certain times shouldn't do coffee. Am I going to, now knowing, okay, I'm still dealing with these issues of adrenal fatigue. Do I drink coffee? Yeah, I do. And I'm, continue. I'm not going to overdo it and drink 5 thermoses full in one day. But on days that I'm already stressed, I really don't want to add to my body's stress load. So that's my message today. If you have questions or comments or what is this adrenal fatigue, I'll get into that in another video, but comment below, subscribe, share, and I'll catch you next time.